Hello, today is Friday. It is January the 11th. The reading for today is from the last part of Genesis 11 through Genesis 12. It is the beginning of the story of Abraham. But what impacts me in this passage is the very beginning of the story, which is in the end of Genesis 11. And there we read about Terah, Abraham's father, Abram, they're called, and his move from Ur of Chaldees with his family. Now, the verse that I picked out says this: They left Ur of the Chaldeans for the land of Canaan, and arrived at Haran. They settled there. This is one of the saddest sentences in the Bible to me, and maybe one of the greatest warnings. The sentence says that the Terran family were on their way to Canaan. But when they got to Haran, they stopped and they settled there. Now, I have no biblical evidence at all for the wondering that I have often about this verse, which is, was it Terah that got the call from God first? And he took off with full intent to follow through and then stopped halfway. Now, he lost his son Haran, it is believed, halfway through the trip. And the trip was hard. It was 300 miles across desert, and in fact, to go all the way to Canaan would have been 500 miles. So they traveled a great distance over with much hardship, I am sure. So it's easy to see why you would say, you know, we've gotten this far, this is it. Or, you know, the effort is just too great to go on. Or, wow, we've lost part of our family here. I think we'll stay here. I think the warning is that God's call can come to us, and we, with a lot of intent, can go after it. But it is really easy to settle halfway. We face difficulties. We suffer a loss. Something occurs in our life that turns our focus inward instead of outward to God, and we stop. We settle. And instead of giving the completion of God's promises, we find a way to take it halfway. And instead of finding the fullest portion of life, the most complete healing for our troubles, the perfection and totality of our call and our mission, we go halfway, and the story goes on to someone else. Now, I may not be right at all that Terah got the first call, but I think the story, as it sits, does say they were headed to Canaan and stopped halfway. I don't want my life to stop halfway. There are many times that I do. I recognize there are a lot of times when I give up the effort, or I become complacent, or I think it's too hard. And really, that isn't what I want. And so I'm going to go into this weekend asking God to continue to show me my future and to trust Him for what He's going to do, and believe that everything that I need in my life and that I want to accomplish in my life will happen as I follow Jesus. Have a great weekend.